Hey guys, it is Cole and Taylor with the Bridge Group, and today we're going to be talking about how Taylor was able to get his client's offer accepted over 30 other offers, and some of those even being cash. She had an FHA loan and still won. So stay tuned, we'll talk all about it. All right, so Taylor, this is not uncommon for you, right? My biggest gripe this whole time is I'm always trying to get Taylor, hey, let's focus on listings, let's focus on listings. And Taylor, without even focusing on listings, is getting listings, a lot more listings this year. But his passion is buyers. So after, midway through last year, I think I was just like, screw it, Taylor, you're gonna be the best damn buyer's agent ever. And he really is, he is. This is not uncommon for Taylor to beat out a lot of other offers. The uncommon thing about it was to beat out cash offers, conventional offers, more what some would consider more secure buyers or stronger buyers with an FHA product.
Yep.
So if you don't mind, share with us that story, kind of what we were talking about before, a little bit about your client and your journey with them.
Yeah, so first and foremost, in a competitive market like this, FHA and VA, there's just such a negative, unfair stigma associated with them. It really is unfair for the buyers, especially VA, FHA. VA, I mean, you sacrificed for your country, and a lot of them get the short end of the stick whenever we're dealing with multiple offer situations. But at the end of the day, all they require is a little bit of creativity and finesse, and sometimes just a little bit of luck, or at least a little bit of luck by having a listing agent or some sellers that are willing to listen to the story. This particular client of mine, I was referred by a past client. We needed to sell her previous house because it was a two-story home. It just wasn't agreeing with her. She had a bad hip, so we needed to find a one-story house close by to her previous one to keep her boys in the same school, the same neighborhood feel, close to family, so on and so forth. And we sold her house for top dollar, of course, got the 6-week lease back, and we had to hit the ground running on the search.
That's huge. So a 6-week lease back. That means you were able to negotiate on the sale of her house for her to close and still live in that same house for 6 weeks.
6 weeks after that, yeah, it's fantastic. It all worked out really well.
That's the major concern with sellers in this market, is being homeless. Not getting top dollar for their house, which it used to be. Now they know they're going to get top dollar, but
where am I going to go? Yeah, where am I going to go? So we hit the ground running on the search, and I have had a bag of tricks for my buyers in this market, and it's had to evolve over time as this market has changed over time as well, over the last year and a half even. We found out early on that we were just getting blown out of the water by these cash investors that were waiving everything, waiving appraisal, waiving inspections, just you name it, they were waiving it, and they were coming in really high above ask. We had some bad luck. We struck out on quite a few offers, and then we started to adjust our formula a little bit, and we got closer and we got closer. And then we finally found this perfect house that she absolutely loved. It was in the right neighborhood, and we brainstormed, and I did some thinking. We went and saw the house, and we said, how can we waive the option period, the inspection period, without overextending ourselves? Because unlike these cash investors we were competing with, it's just an investment for them. They don't care if the roof has leaks. They don't they don't care. They have the capital and the cash to mitigate that and handle it.
Right.
Whereas she was moving her family into this home, and it wasn't necessarily something we were totally comfortable doing and risking. So what we started doing was, she had a handyman contractor friend of hers that she trusted dearly. We brought him to the showings with us. He and I were going up in the attics, looking around in the attic, walking around the entire home.
And the main purpose of that is really so that we can come in with just as favorable terms.
Correct.
As some of these cash buyers, conventional buyers, waiving inspection period, waiving the option period.
And an empty bag and wonder what you're going to walk into. So we had a really good idea, and there were 2 properties that we toured that we said, hey, we can't waive the inspection on this house. It does not make sense. We need to have it inspected. So we didn't, and unfortunately, due to all those cash investors, we didn't get those. We found the house, it checked out, it passed the eye test for myself and for her contractor friend. So then it came down to selling her story to the listing agent, because we knew that we could come with the similar terms, but what it came down to was, how can we make sure that this listing agent and these sellers hear our story and they're not turned away by us being FHA. So I visited the agent at her open house, actually, the last 10 minutes of it, and I basically just presented the story. There were some extenuating circumstances that my client had that led to her being FHA, but we had a bank statement with $100,000 in it from the sale of her house. So we were able to say, hey, listen, we've got the cash. We can compete. She will pay above the appraised value, whatever it is. She'll honor her sales price. I just need to hear from you. What can I do to better present my client on the contract? What do you want to see for that peace of mind? And the agent was forthcoming and told me what she wanted to see. And we were able to present an offer that ultimately beat 29 other offers. What it came down to is, well, the offer that almost lost out to was higher than ours. It was a cash investor, a good chunk ahead of ours, somewhere in the ballpark of $5,000 to $7,000 is what she told me.
So it's not, even in this market, it's not, Taylor, his client, and him, they beat out other offers that were higher in price. So it's not always about price. I tell people that all the time. But in this case, you use something that is much more powerful than cash or money. You used a story. Yeah,
we used a story, and in doing so, it displayed a lot of competence. Competence on me as a buyer's agent, and then competence in the buyer's lender as well.
Yeah.
It's another thing that I always recommend doing is you got to have a really, really competent team in a market like this.
Yeah.
That includes the real estate agent and the lender. So myself and her lender both called the listing agent. We explained everything. I said, yes, she's got money in the bank. She's able to cover appraisal above appraised value, so on and so forth. And we really sold the story and demonstrated competency and professionalism on our side, which then led to the listing agent say, hey, listen, sellers, they're really on the ball. Client really wants the home. It's for her family. She's done everything that she can to present the best offer possible, and I have faith that they're going to get this thing closed.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, here we are. We're going to close later this month, actually.
That's awesome.
One day before her leaseback ends.
That's great. I'm very excited for you. I'm very excited for your client. But you know, I imagine that the listing agent, because that's typically the seat that I'm in, is in the listing side of things, would definitely beg their clients to work with you because of the work that you put forth, right? What other agent out of 48,000 agents in Houston and 30 other offers actually took time out of their day to go and visit them at the open house to say, hey, look, this is how important it is for us to get this house. Like, what do I have to do? What does my client have to do, right? And it wasn't always about price. I do want to say this, you know, I say this a lot on videos and our team meetings, but every game is winnable.
Yep.
Every game is winnable, and if this story isn't a great example of that, I don't know what is. 30 offers, FHA loan, wins the deal, not the highest, but you sold the story. And I think that that's really the biggest thing that turned this around for your client and got her the keys to this house.
Absolutely. No, at the end of the day, seller's market means that we as buyer's agents really need to do our due diligence and have some honest conversations with that listing agent so we can better present our clients and their story in the contract and come out on top.
Well, hey, thanks for joining. And I know whenever you told me this, you sent me that text, I was like, what the heck? Like, we got to share this because there's so many other buyers. And even if you're working with someone else right now and you're discouraged, don't be discouraged. Don't stop your search. Maybe change your agent. And maybe it looks like Taylor. So, but you know, the thing is, honestly, there's a lot of agents. There's 48,000 agents in Houston. The majority of those agents are part-time. So when Taylor says, you know, the market evolves, the market changes, our tactics have to change, that's exactly right. Agents that do this part-time, that they don't have the tactics in the first place to evolve in the second place. So the thing is that with a lack of experience, with a lack of knowledge, you know, your offers are going to keep going and hitting a brick wall, and it is going to continue to be discouraging. Get someone, you know, like Taylor that knows what they're doing, that can sit back and assess the situation and say, what do we need to do to put ourselves in the best seat possible for this seller to accept our offer against all odds, right?
Absolutely. No, it's getting all the communication, all the follow-up. We knew exactly why we didn't get the previous offers that we put in, so we were able to pivot and adjust and adapt to the market. Strategy always beats just sending a volume of offers, right? Absolutely. Awesome. Well, guys, thanks for joining us today. I hope this was helpful. If you're an agent, I hope this was helpful for you. I know a lot of agents, after I posted that, were like, how did he do that? Yeah. So I hope that this was encouraging. If you're a buyer that you've submitted multiple offers, look outside of your current situation, maybe find different help, and I guarantee you success eventually. So absolutely. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for having me. Guys, we'll see you next week.